All right, guys, so it is time to call out Geeks and Gamers because they decided to run their stupid fucking mouth. They decided they were going to grift because they are fake as hell. These guys are not right-wingers, all right? They are not anti-woke like they pretend to be. And I'm going to show you guys that. But these guys on their fucking website, Geeks and Gamers, they openly state that they are more diverse than Hollywood and all of these other leftists. They brag about being more diverse. They talk about how they are, they're for trans rights and stuff like that. So Geeks and Gamers, they are not Christian at all. They are not right wing, but they pretend to be. They pretend to be against the left. They pretend to be anti-woke. And now they've decided they were going to make this stupid ass video trying to compare Devin Pritchard to Kathleen Kennedy. Now, Devin Pritchard, for those who don't know, she is the president of Nintendo of America after Doug Bowser had just, retired this year. Now, here's the thing. Here's what's so fucking stupid. She has not done anything, said anything that indicates that she is left-wing, that she's woke. Everybody is looking deep into this bullshit. All she did was have a pre-recorded video of her, giving a little speech at some convention or whatever, introducing herself. And she said things like, everyone deserves to, be a part of gaming. And, we want to tell people's unique stories. Oh, that's so woke. That's DEI. No, that ain't no fucking DEI, damn it. All right. People need to stop looking into shit. This is people trying to look for something. And here's the thing. Nintendo, out of all of these companies, have always been the least, woke, left wing, or whatever. You never hear them say anything that is woke, anything that is really, liberal or left leaning. No, they always try to remain neutral, or they always try to just stay out of politics altogether. Out of all of them, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, they are the only ones who you could argue are conservative because they are so freaking conservative with their intellectual property, with Mario, with Zelda. They don't want people changing anything with those characters. All right? When it comes to the Mario movie, they tried to make Princess Peach be the hero of that movie, and Shigeru Miyamoto said, no, you're not doing that. Mario and Luigi are going to be the heroes. They're the ones who are going to save the day. They put their foot down, and they made sure that didn't happen. Now, because this is video games and console wars is still a thing, people don't want to admit that, you still got a bunch of stupid asses out there who desperately want Nintendo to be woke. They want Nintendo to be woke. They want Nintendo to get woke, go broke and all that because they're stupid ass fangirls of PlayStation or Xbox or Sega. They lost, they got their ass kicked. And so anytime they could find something, they can misinterpret anything to try to make Nintendo out to be a woke corporation, they will do it. And that's what's going on here. So now they're trying to compare Devin Pritchard to Kathleen Kennedy being the idiot who bastardized Star Wars with her woke bullshit. They're trying to say that Devin Pritchard is basically Kathleen Kennedy. Now, let me just say this. This is so fucking stupid because the president of Nintendo of America doesn't do shit. All right? They got no power, no influence over the entire company of Nintendo. Nintendo of Japan are the ones who call the shots, not Nintendo of America. Nintendo of America is pretty much there to interpret, translate, and pretty much, do what Nintendo of Japan tells them to do. That's pretty much what they're all there for, basically marketing and all of that. They don't get to do anything. They don't get to make any changes. So you got a lot of idiots saying, oh, they're going to start inserting pronouns and all this into the fucking games or whatever. Nope, that's not going to happen. All right. They take orders from Nintendo of Japan. Now, this Devin Pritchard lady, who's now the president of Nintendo, what you stupid fucks fail to understand is that she's been with Nintendo for like 20 fucking years. All right. She was working with Reggie Fils-Aimé. Reggie Fils-Aimé actually kind of like introduced her, even though she wasn't actually there in person. It was just a pre-recorded thing, which kind of tells me she's a bit shy and probably couldn't handle being on stage, but that's fine. We don't really need to see her out there anyways. So regardless, you got stupid asses from fucking Geeks and Gamers now, a bunch of fucking woke retards, right? And I'm going to show you guys that. But they're now trying to say that, this is Kathleen Kennedy, and you know what? They got this stupid ass picture in their thumbnail with Devin Pritchard, the Nintendo logo, and then they got these rainbow colors in the background. Like, these motherfuckers should have rainbow colors all over their website, their YouTube channel, because they're the ones who say they are more diverse than the leftists. Anyways, let's play this stupid ass video real quick.
We, as filmmakers, should not be the ones providing those boundaries. We should just tell the stories, and they should be open to a wide variety of, not only gender, but ethnicity. And that's another thing that we're really working to do, is to make the casting reflect society on a much more equal basis.
Somehow Kathleen Kennedy returned. Not literally Kathleen Kennedy, but the idea, the legacy that Kathleen Kennedy left behind, the legacy of, we're going to destroy every single thing that you love. We're going to pander to people that don't care about that thing that you love.
All right, so let me just pause this real quick. So we got this fucking idiot, this fucking toolbox right here, and he's basically trying to act like this is the new Kathleen Kennedy. So basically, he showed a video of Kathleen Kennedy saying something, and now he's going to try to like make it seem as though Devin Pritchard is saying the exact same thing.
We're going to destroy every single thing that you love. We're going to pander to people that don't care about that thing that you love. We're going to ignore you so that we can bring everyone into the fold. Everyone deserves to be here.
So by the way he's making it sound like, you would think that Devin Pritchard literally said these kind of things. Like, she literally said, oh, we're about exclusivity, inclusiveness or whatever. We're all about people of all races, backgrounds, or whatever. You're going to see that she doesn't say anything like that. But this stupid piece of shit, this fucking dumb trailer trash, is making it seem that way.
Devin Pritchard, the brand new president and COO of Nintendo of America, and she finally made her grand appearance.
Guy looks like a damn homosexual the way he's moving his hand. You see the hand gestures from this fucking idiot? This guy looks fucking gay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we were so excited. Well, the internet has not responded very, very kind. And, I'm on the internet side, as I usually am.
Yeah, because you're a fucking fraudulent piece of shit. You don't have a mind of your own. And so you're on the internet side. Well, who's the fucking internet? A bunch of dumbass losers who are just full of misery, full of hate. They're pissed off. They're butthurt because, they have a PlayStation and they're not playing anything on it. So they're constantly going to my YouTube channel and leaving comments. If you guys look at the last few videos that I've been uploading, it's a bunch of losers who hate Nintendo, hate my YouTube channel, but they're there just constantly leaving comments, and I'm just basically replying to all those idiots because it's just increasing engagement for my YouTube channel. But you can see these morons don't really seem to be, enjoying their console of choice, their video games, or anything like that. So they're spending all their time on the fucking internet just bitching and complaining. So that's who is usually on the internet. So sitting there and be like, I'm on the side of the internet. Okay, you fucking loser. It shows, one, you're a grifter. You're fake. All right? You don't have, your own moral code. You don't have, you got no standards, no conviction, nothing like that. It's just, I agree with the internet. That's it. Whatever the internet says, I'm going to agree with it so they can subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch my videos. So you just admitted he's a fake-ass motherfucker.
But here it is. Devin Pritchard gave her first statement as Nintendo of America's new president at the New York Game Awards. Every dream matters. Everyone deserves to do meaningful work in gaming and storytelling. Fuck off. No, everybody does not deserve to be in gaming. People that are into gaming deserve to be into the gaming industry. People that are interested, people that have a passion for it, people that have a talent for it, people that want to be here. All
right. So basically, every dream matters. Everyone deserves to do meaningful work in gaming and storyline. So every dream matters to this fucking retard means DEI. Everyone deserves to do meaningful work in gaming and storytelling. Oh, that suddenly means DEI. They want woke people to come into video games, according to this stupid piece of shit. No, that's not what that fucking means, idiot.
Everyone doesn't deserve to be in gaming. Fuck off with that identity politics, virtue signaling nonsense. No one actually believes that, by the way. We've all heard this song and dance from so many of these executives, and what that means is everyone except the people we don't like deserves to be in gaming. Essentially what this means.
So this stupid piece of shit is going to tell us what that fucking means. He's going to tell us that, oh, this comment means DEI, it means, identity politics, even though it doesn't say anything like that. That's apparently what that means from this piece of shit who, by the way, actually brags about being diverse, more diverse than Hollywood, more diverse than leftists. Geeks and Gamers takes much pride in being woke themselves. But yet, they're like a bunch of fucking two-faced. They pretend to be right-wingers. They pretend to be against all of that stuff. Now, I'm going to show you guys a YouTuber known as John Del Arroz. That's JONDELARROZ. As a matter of fact, let me see if I could scroll down and show you guys what the thumbnail of his video looks like. So, this John Del Arroz guy. Now, he's uploaded some videos that I don't care for, that I didn't like. I think he was trying to make it seem like the Zelda movie might be woke because of a couple of pictures and images of Zelda looking like she's shooting an arrow, like she's practicing archery, while Link is there watching her. And it's like, how do you guys think that's fucking woke? He's probably training her ass on how to shoot the damn arrow. So stupid. Anyways. We got this video from John Del Arroz, manipulated fandoms, why they failed us. And as you can see, the same fucking idiot that we were just watching a minute ago from Geeks and Gamers, he's in the thumbnail right there at the bottom with the stupid hat, that dumbass face of his. But then you got another fucking cuck right behind him known as Smash JT or Smash GT, whatever it was. I think it's Smash JT, something like that. This stupid fat slob who, again, he's another fake person who pretends to be against left-wing ideology, woke garbage, but he's not. And we're about to watch this video and see how, this guy, John Del Arroz, he basically exposes them because he actually is a Christian gamer, this guy, John Del Arroz. He actually is Christian. He is right-wing. He doesn't just, go with what the internet says. Now, again, there have been videos that he made that I'm like, bro, you're kind of just grifting a little bit here. In my opinion, at least, but it's okay to be vigilant. It's okay to say, oh, I don't like this. I don't like what I'm seeing here. So I will give this guy the benefit of the doubt, John Del Arroz here. And this is a guy that went after them. They did everything they could to try to shut him down and, deplatform him. But let's hear what he has to say about Geeks and Gamers and all these other stupid asses that are making a big deal out of Devin Pritchard.
Merry Christmas, everybody. And this is a great article, again, written by Sam Gray, talking about fan groups and fandom. Now, part of what we do on our channel is we've always said that fandom is really a mistake. And the entire point of it in the culture is to just replace religion, and that's what ends up happening here. But this has happened in a weird situation in recent years where people have followed influencers like it's some kind of cult. And the influencers who were supposed to be counterculture, against cancel culture, against wokeism, against left-wing politics, have all formed this kind of like weird whisper network where it's just got way too many business connections, way too many behind-the-scenes things, and they try to just like tear down right-wing and Christian creators in these spaces as the process. We've seen it going all year long, and it spun out of the Gamergate 2 situation last year when we saw that DEI consultants were actually making massive problems for video games and actually coming in under Sweet Baby Inc., Black Girl Gamers, etc., and forcing this diversity nonsense into video games when they've been doing it in Hollywood, the book industry, the comic industry that we've covered all the way here for a lot of different years. Now, as that was all building up, the algorithms on these websites like YouTube started to tear everybody down at the first of the year. It happened almost to the day after Donald Trump got inaugurated. It seems like Google throttled anti-woke content at that point. And a lot of these guys decided to pivot away from it and actually change their stances on a lot of things. You saw people like Smash JT talk about how he's actually for transgenderism and LGBTQ crap, as he then pivoted away and just started covering drama. You've seen Geeks and Gamers do much the same. They've done the same the whole way through. We're actually more diverse than Hollywood. Those words rang around the world. And this has happened for a long, long time. Now,
so as you can see, he's explaining how Geeks and Gamers, Smash JT, these, one of the biggest, on YouTube to pretend to, be anti-woke or whatever. Smash JT, and I know this for a fact because I've seen it on Twitter, I've seen it on social media, Smash JT, he defended that game, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, it has a disgusting, gay scene in it where you can, make the main protagonist character engage in, disgusting acts with another guy or whatever. And, Smash JT was saying that was fine, that was good, there was nothing wrong with it, it's not woke. He was defending it, and he received some blowback, and he kept trying to, damage control, and he kept trying to say, well, Baldur's Gate 3 has these kind of options, and nobody really complained. So Smash JT or whatever, that this piece of shit, he's been doing the same thing recently with Devin Pritchard, grifting and saying, oh, this is Kathleen Kennedy 2.0. And yet, this is a guy who was defending sodomy in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I don't know if Geeks and Gamers did that, but as you heard, Geeks and Gamers, they did brag about being more diverse than Hollywood. They're more diverse than Hollywood. So those fucking cocksuckers are pretending to be upset and angry about Devin Pritchard and what she said, misinterpreting it, and acting like, oh, she's talking about identity politics here. So they're upset about that, but they themselves just flat out said, we are more diverse than Hollywood. Now, which one is worse? Just use your brain for a second. Which is worse? Which is more woke? Saying, we're talking about people, how everybody deserves, a chance in gaming or something, and people should be able to tell their stories. Is that more woke than saying we are more diverse than Hollywood? I think saying you're more diverse than Hollywood is way more fucking woke. That's probably the most woke ass thing you could say. Especially when you're saying you're more diverse than Hollywood, of all places. Hollywood is the most woke fucking industry. They're the most degenerate, scumbag fucking organization in the entire universe. Okay? And Geeks and Gamers, these fucking stupid asses, they talk about how they brag about being more diverse than Hollywood. So why the hell are they fucking pretending to be angry about anything Devin Pritchard said? Because Devin Pritchard didn't say anything. She never used the word diversity, diverse. She didn't say equity, inclusion. She didn't say, people of all races. Didn't say anything like that. And yet these stupid motherfuckers are going to try to tell you that they're woke. They're going to ruin Nintendo. This is Kathleen Kennedy 2.0. Get the fuck out of here.
These guys have their groups of sycophants who just follow them, and they try to cancel anybody outside of those circles. And of course,
yeah, that's another thing. The stupid ass sycophants and the subscribers of these YouTube channels, they're just so fucking brain dead. They don't think for themselves at all.
Ended up being a target of that after they came for Razor Fist and Melanie Mack. And you notice that they just started targeting right-wing Christian people in the spaces in an effort to what I think was to consolidate viewership around what they have, as this algorithm was hitting all of us. Now, the algorithm still has hit all of us. It's hit me. It's hit everybody else. Regardless of where you lie on the political spectrum, it's at least on the right in the anti-woke sort of area, it's hit everybody's channel. I've kind of monitored it, and it did it intentionally. I think YouTube's intentionally trying to kill commentary as something on YouTube, not just looking at the individual on that. Now, their algorithm now does it like this. They feed you, if you're a subscriber of this channel, for example, they'll feed it to 1% of my subscribers, right? The video. And if there's a certain click rate, they'll send to a different group as another focus group of subscribers. And then if it does well there, it'll go out to a broader audience and random people will start seeing it on their tabs. This takes now a couple of days actually to get videos going. But if it doesn't do well in that first focus group or whatnot, or the second focus group, then it doesn't show it to any new people whatsoever, and it doesn't even show it to the subscribers here of the channel. It's a big deal. Now, this is, again, happening.
Yeah, this is complete fucking bullshit on YouTube's part, that's how their algorithm works or whatever. That's 1% of your subscribers will see your video, your new video. That is complete horseshit. Fuck YouTube.
Across the board, and I learned this about the algorithm change like this from an actual D&D channel that I really like, that's stopping doing a lot of content. A lot of people are throwing in the towel. But as this has gone on, these guys, like I said, are trying to consolidate by, of course, canceling and axing out anybody else, and not, trying to make it so that nobody will pay attention because they don't want you to find real right-wing news content. Now, as this has gone on also, there's been a news shakeup, right? And the news shakeup is that Bounding Into Comics and That Park Place, which were news websites, which were explicitly right-wing, started censoring people who were on the right and trying to pivot, much like all these YouTubers, to a more centrist, just IGN or PC Gamer or CBR, trying to just be like those outlets.
So in other words, they are controlled opposition. Geeks and Gamers, Smash JT, they're all fake, and they're basically trying to just gatekeep and make sure that people aren't necessarily right-wing or Christian. They definitely don't want that. They're trying to keep everybody as centrists. And by the way, I fucking hate centrists. I can't stand them because to me, centrists are basically just libtards. They're basically just left-wingers who pretend to not be left-wing. That it seems like that's all centrists really are.
They did so, their audiences completely collapsed. And what did they do? Behind the scenes, these groups actually worked again to cancel people like me, and actually my Fandom Pulse Substack, where we've been telling things with uncensored news, which is interesting because we got censored, we got canceled multiple times, and then they actually started a narrative that we're pro-censorship to try to deflect from the fact that they were doing this behind the scenes. So this is where this all goes through, but this is not my article. This is Sam Gray's, and I thought it was very interesting, his analysis on things, because it paints a broader picture that I actually want to get into. Now, this is my Fandom Pulse Substack. As I said, it's in the description below. We're running actually a Christmas special right now, which is 20% off on paid subscriptions. And we don't use any advertising, so we don't have to bow to any corporations or anything like that. This is the place where you can get your news. We do like 8 to 10 articles a day. Very hard-hitting news. We don't ever equivocate. We always just call out the woke when we see it, and we always try to promote what we can on the right-wing side as well. That's why they're so afraid of us, because we are actually doing the work. We're picked up by Bongino Report on the right, and actually these people just want us to be kept out and kept out of gaming journalism. It's very much like Gamergate 1 used to be back in the day, when the gaming journalists were trying to keep people out who were not doing their agenda and not following their stuff. These guys have all colluded to do very similar. And so the reason they have is because they're not actually right-wing. And this is where it comes down to. And this does feed into the pointlessness of fan groups. So sign up for Fandom Pulse. It's in the description below, guys. I will put that right there. It's the most important thing you could do. Even if you sign up as an unpaid subscribers, this gets us around algorithms too. So you guys can see exactly what we're talking about, whether it's trending or not, because it might not show up in your feed if it's not trending. Very important stuff. So let's get into this right here.
Yeah, that's a good reason to also have like a Discord, a Twitter, and all that. By the way, for any of you guys out there who are following me, if you have a Twitter, follow my Twitter as well. You should be able to find me, Nukem Nintendo. I have it on my YouTube channel. I have my Twitter handle, so go follow me on Twitter as well. I tend to post my new videos over there for you guys to see as well, because as he said, YouTube algorithm, the way it works, it'll show your new video to like 1% of your subscribers, and that's complete horseshit.
So he's inspired by this post. I posted this because I've been talking about Pluribus quite a bit. And as you can see, Geeks and Gamers did this review just cheering on the lesbian sex, which I did a video on saying, hey guys, they went full woke and they actually just forced this lesbian agenda on everybody. And so this is the thing they do. Like I said, they're...
So Geeks and Gamers were celebrating and cheering on lesbian sex in some TV shows or whatever, some movie. That's what they were doing, cheering it on, as this guy just said. And yet these dumb punk-ass fucking bitches are trying to go after Nintendo and act like Nintendo's going woke because Devin Pritchard is the president of Nintendo of America, and she made a comment about how everyone deserves to be a part of gaming or whatever.
Trying in these circles not to cast any judgment on the LGBTQ community, on leftist causes, on Black Lives Matter, Black replacement characters. They're trying to just be very, very centrist about things, which is left wing, in order to.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Centrist is just fucking left wing. That's all it is. It's just a bunch of fake motherfuckers pretending that they're not left wing, but they are. they really are.
Appeal to that Google algorithm, right, is what they're trying to do with their news website. Now, this news website by Geeks and Gamers is tied into That Park Place. That Park Place canceled my of course, business partner and writer John Trent, who works at Fandom Pulse also, and they did so because of his Catholic and conservative views. And then That Park Place is getting funding and from a group called Publisher Desk, which owns Bounding Into Comics. So as you can see, they're colluding, these groups, much like Gamergate. This is Gamergate. This is such a big scandal, guys, and nobody talks about it because everybody wants to get in with the clout structure of this Whisper network. And if you don't, you are completely destroyed and cut out. They'll cancel you hard. They sent Smash JT to do it to me earlier this year. They did Endymion doing it to me actually a couple months ago, calling me a white supremacist. I showed that. Unbelievable. I mean, they are the left. They've done the exact.
Yeah, that's another one. Endymion, he's this fat fucking pig. He's another, piece of shit that pretends to be right wing and whatnot, but he's also, a closeted leftard as well.
Same thing the left has done. They lie about you. They'll make it personal rather than actually talking about what's going on because they want to distract you from the fact that they're pushing left-wing content. And that's what's going on. So here's what Sam Gray says, who runs a wonderful YouTube channel. He goes by What the EGAD, I believe. And he changed his YouTube channel name a couple times, but worth checking out.
Hey, it's Tyler White.
Gotta skip these stupid ass ads.
And he said, what inspired my thinking about this subject was based on listening to Vox Day and John Delarose discuss my article on Endymion TV on a live stream. There, Vox Day refers to Endymion's behavior as gatekeeping. While many online fan groups present themselves as a welcoming hubs built and shared around enthusiasm, beneath the surface lies a very different impulse, gatekeeping. And no, this is not the kind of gatekeeping aimed at protecting a franchise from corporate meddling or misguided creative decisions, as far as they go beyond the reach of ordinary fans anyway, but the kind directed at the only people these communities can actually influence, other fans. The irony here is striking. Spaces ostensibly created to celebrate a shared love of story game universes frequently become battlegrounds where longtime members police who is worthy of participating. This dynamic is especially visible on platforms like Reddit. While Reddit's voting system is often criticized for being structurally flawed, it is the only part of the problem. The deeper issue lies in the moderation culture that has evolved there. Many subreddits are governed by small groups of moderators who wield outsized authority without temperament, expertise, or impartiality that such roles demand. Their decisions can feel arbitrary, ideological, or simply self-serving. And because the moderation is one of the few forms of power available in these digital spaces, some cling with a kind of zeal. The result is a feedback loop where the moderators enforce their preferences and users learn which opinions are acceptable, and the community narrows into an echo chamber. Disagreement becomes deviance and critique becomes heresy. Even mild variation from the dominant viewpoints can be met with hostility, downvotes, or outright removal. What should be a space for diverse interpretations and lively debate becomes a gatekeeping machine where total is not to enrich fandom but to control it. At its core, the behavior stems from a simple human impulse. People want ownership over the things they love. Since fans can't control the directions of the franchise itself, they try to control the narrative. So who is Geeks and Gamers? And what is this? Jeremy Griggs is the founder of Public Face of Geeks and Gamers, a prominent figure in the world of...
Okay, Jeremy Griggs, I'm assuming that's the trailer trash that was, talking in that video.
YouTube pop culture commentary. His rise to widespread visibility, however, came largely from his outspoken commentary on modern entertainment, particularly Star Wars and the backlash of The Last Jedi.
So once again, it always goes back to Star Wars and The Last Jedi. That's when all of these fucking losers just came out of nowhere, and that was their rise to fame, was Star Wars The Last Jedi. Because Star Wars The Last Jedi, it was like the final nail in the coffin for Star Wars. That's basically what Disney. That's pretty much what happened. Disney bastardized Star Wars with the new, sequel trilogy or whatever, and fans of Star Wars absolutely hated it. And because it was so overwhelming, the hate for Star Wars, The Last Jedi, and all these other stupid films was so overwhelming, was so loud. A lot of these fucking frauds, these, pretend to be right wingers, they came out of nowhere and started grifting on that, and that's how a lot of these guys got famous and popular. I think the real life fake wizard, it was the same situation with him. These guys as well, Geeks and Gamers, that's pretty much how they got popular. That's how they made a name for themselves, was, talking crap about, Kathleen Kennedy and, the bastardization of Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, whatever. So yeah, it just shows you how fucking fake these people are. They all kind of just came all at the same fucking time. They came in just at the right moment, right opportunity. And when that was like the biggest talking point, that was like the very big subject at the time. That was the thing that was trending the most, was, just Star Wars fans shitting on, Disney's version of Star Wars.
In the Reddit discussions note, he became known for his anti-SJW framing and extensive criticism of Disney's handling of the Star Wars franchise. A major component of his online identity was commentary on Hollywood figures, and none has been more central to his content than Brie Larson. The actress became a recurring subject on Geeks and Gamers channel, especially around the release of Captain Marvel. The vehemence of his critiques and The Last Jedi are an interesting detail. Given a video on his channel uploaded in 2018, The Last Jedi, It's Time to Admit the Truth. From there, he admits, upon his initial viewing of Star Wars The Last Jedi, he actually loved the film. Granted, he says his initial reaction was the film shifted dramatically over multiple viewings. He says that after his first screening, he left the theater exhilarated, convinced he had witnessed something extraordinary.
So he actually liked the film? That fucking idiot actually liked The Last Jedi? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Viewing, he introduced doubts. The third, he concluded the movie was visually stunning and entertaining. It ultimately failed as a Star Wars movie. Now, the point of this essay is not to frame Jeremy's admission as some kind of smoking gun or proof he's a lying scumbag grifter. My point is simply here that his use is case studies why many online fan communities serve absolutely no purpose other than to gatekeep other fan groups. Let us address what happened between Jeremy and Zack Snyder in March 2021. There was a high-profile charity live stream held in support of suicide prevention efforts, hosted by Uwe Nawerne, a contributor to Geeks and Gamers Network. The event prominently featured group's branding. The film director Zack Snyder joined the stream to promote the release of Justice League, but he opened a statement distancing himself from Geeks and Gamers, noting that while their logo appeared on the donations film, he and his films were not affiliated. He said that regardless of whatever support Geeks and Gamers had for him in his movie. Now, Snyder's remarks were interpreted by many as a public rebuke of the group's reputation, with outlets describing Geeks and Gamers as alt-right or anti-SJW brand. The incident quickly escalated the broader online controversy, with some fans praising Snyder for distancing themselves and others criticizing him for blindsiding a group that helped raise money for charity. In response, Jeremy and Geeks and Gamers team released the video The Truth, Zack Snyder's live stream controversy explained, which they expressed disappointment, clarified their intentions, and argued that Snyder's comments were unfairly led into a negative media narratives about their community. At this point, they actually said, this is where they said they were more diverse than Hollywood, which was an interesting thing. That's what their ideal was at the time. Very, very interesting that they, of course, fight against diversity as a brand when that's all the case, right? So let's look at this. And let's think of an adversarial relationship would lead to the death or one other party. Think again. Instead, corporations have parasited fandoms, which is yet another reason why fandom groups are pointless. Consider the controversy regarding Moses Ingram during the release of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. It became a revealing case study on how modern entertainment companies propagate leverage conflict within their own fan bases. When Ewan McGregor publicly condemned those segments of Star Wars fandom as racist in response to the harassment of Moses Ingram, reportedly received online, the movement was astroturfed, becoming bigger than the show itself. Well, this goes to show that even negative attention is a form of market visibility. Moses Ingram illustrated how quickly a studio can pivot from a promising story to promoting a stance and framing the narrative around their moral alignment rather than narrative quality of the product they were selling. And what's funny is the influencers who covered the drama were essentially being propped up as free advertisements for the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. As franchises expand into the global cultural institutions, they stop functioning merely as entertainment and begin as branding platforms meant to shape the public discourse. At that scale, storytelling becomes inseparable from influence, and influence, once acquired, is something corporations have no incentive to surrender. There's another reason why fan groups are pointless. When a franchise reaches a mass market ubiquity, its audience is no longer defined by longtime fans, but by the broadest possible demographic. This shift fundamentally changes the creative calculus. Instead of crafting narratives that honor established lore, the narratives serve ideological pulpits for progressive politics. It leads to an uncomfortable question. Do franchises ever change course in response to the fan desires? The answer is yes, but such change is often superficial. More often, franchises double down on the chosen direction when the large segments of fandom express dissatisfaction. Geeks and Gamers, who got famous for fighting the woke agenda, now stands for lesbian propaganda in pluribus, right? It makes perfect sense. My claim that Jeremy functions as controlled opposition lands in an unexpected way. It's because there's shadowy. It's not because there's a shadowy organization pulling his strings. It's because his entire persona has always been shaped by the people who watch him. He isn't controlled by institutions so much.
Did you catch that? His entire persona is shaped by the people who watch him. Now, just moments ago, at the very beginning, I showed you guys, I explained to you guys how he literally said out of his own mouth, I always agree with what the internet says or what the internet thinks. I always agree with the internet. That's what Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers said. It came out right out of his own mouth. You can go back and watch. That's what he said. And right here, this guy is confirming that, his views and opinions are shaped by those who watch him. Now, that's basically, just the idea of what a fucking grifter is. Somebody who's just going to make videos based on what the internet is thinking, what the majority opinion on the internet is. Remember, guys, the internet makes up a very, very, very tiny fraction of the general population, okay? On the internet, people, everyone on the internet hates Nintendo, but then you see Nintendo selling out everywhere, all over the world, selling 10, 15 million consoles in just 6 months. But on the internet, you would think that nobody is buying that system if you listen to what the people on the internet say, On the internet, you got a bunch of fucking degenerate weirdos who think lesbian shit is cool and that's okay and that's fine. People defending the gay shit with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. But you know what? The vast majority of people in this world don't want that shit. They don't want anything to do with that. So this Jeremy guy from Geeks and Gamers, he's just fucking fake as hell. He's a fucking fraud. He's an NPC. He's just there to basically agree with what his subscribers and what the internet is saying. That's about it.
As he's controlled by expectations, moods, and biases of his own audience. This kind of self-love is symptomatic of his spiritual... Jesus, I'm not going to use that word on YouTube.
Wait, hold on. Well, I'm trying to look for where it is. This kind of self-love is symptomatic of his spiritual... That's funny. I would like to use that word too, but... you got a bunch of sorry asses like, I think, what's his name? Angry Vigilante. I think he's an open homosexual or something like that. So he's going to get mad and he's going to try to flag my video or report it. But that's pretty damn accurate of Jeremy. That's exactly what he is. That's exactly what he is. He is definitely a disgusting sodomite, probably, because he's going to defend lesbian shit, homo shit, or whatever, but he's going to go after Devin Pritchard for saying whatever the hell she said that's triggering people. She didn't say anything, really. It was just a typical, generic PR talk, but yeah, this is pretty funny.
Inevitably cultivates literal homosexuality. So, of course, Geeks and Gamers would have an LGBTQ community manager. And he tried to cancel me last year over just...
Yeah, that's another thing. Freaking Geeks and Gamers has an LGBTQ community manager. So they literally have a fucking manager who is LGBTQ. And yet these stupid fucks are stirring up all this bullshit about Nintendo and, Nintendo, look... Let's make a thumbnail with Devin Pritchard on it. Let's put a rainbow flag in it. Make it seem like Nintendo's going, does Nintendo have an LGBTQ community manager? Is their president LGBT? No, actually, Devin Pritchard is married with children. She's married with children. And she's not just some random broad that they found. She's been with Nintendo for 16, 20 years. 20 years, actually, if I'm not mistaken. She's been with Nintendo for a long time. Okay? She worked with Reggie Fils-Aimé for many of her years. And Reggie Fils-Aimé used to be the president of Nintendo of America. So, yeah, why are people stupid enough to even listen to Geeks and Gamers about this? Now, if you genuinely hate this stuff, this woke stuff, then you would unsubscribe from Geeks and Gamers knowing all of this, right? If you've just been enlightened and this is news to you. But if you're just some fucking loser who hates Nintendo and you desperately want Nintendo to go woke because you want to see the fall of Nintendo because you're that much of a butthurt, gay station fan, Xbox fan, PC gamer, whatever the hell you are, then you're going to stay subscribed to Geeks and Gamers and you're going to enjoy listening to their bullshit. Even though they're clearly fake, even though they're a bunch of disgusting degenerates themselves, you're still going to listen to them because that's what you want to hear. That's what you're all about. Your fandom or your hatred for Nintendo outweighs all that. And you probably don't even, most of you guys who hate Nintendo, I think you guys are already woke to begin with. I think a lot of you guys are degenerate and, you hate right-wing, you hate conservatism, Christianity, and all that stuff to begin with. So at least that's what it seems like.
Noticing this, by the way. So while this is being written now, he went out of his way to just really attempt to cancel me because I noticed this, that they had this in an attempt to affirm that this LGBTQ thing was part of their community. Now, of course, on their news website, they are pushing this kind of agenda, saying it's a good thing in the Apple TV programming, when, of course, this is the same woke content that they got big to fight against. And it's because that's the narrative. Some brands are good, some brands are bad. They care more about the brand and looking what the audience thinks about a brand than an actual content on things. And that's where we're different here, both at Fandom Pulse and where we're different also on this YouTube channel, is I just say what I think. And I see it. I see the woke content. I see the woke elements of things, and I'll call it out no matter what. It got us.
Which is why people should subscribe to your YouTube channel. So again, guys, definitely subscribe to this guy. Let me see if I could pull up his channel real quick. But just to show you, yeah. So John Delarose, Save the Culture. He's got 65,000 subscribers, 4,000 videos, and again, even though he has that many subscribers, his views are pretty much, sometimes he'll get 5,000 views, sometimes 1,000 views, 800, whatever. But, right here, look, a year ago he got 194,000, and that was over Assassin's Creed Shadows. 216,000, that was again a year ago, so he's gotten a lot of views. Sometimes he gets a short amount of views. So it definitely seems like YouTube is basically doing everything they can to hide his YouTube channel and make sure he doesn't get views. But John Delarose is definitely somebody worth checking out if you want to listen to somebody who is actually real, or at least 99% real. Because like I said, he did make a dumb video thinking that, the Zelda movie might be a little bit woke because of a few images. But he, for the most part, seems to be far more real than these other guys, than Geeks and Gamers, Smash JT, all of them. He seems to be far more legitimate, and he actually calls them out on their bullshit. And like he was explaining, it seems like their whole thing is more about going after a brand, not so much about the content that they are making. So yeah, we gotta attack Star Wars and we gotta attack Disney, we gotta attack Kathleen Kennedy, but these same fucking dumbasses have an LGBTQ manager. They're over here praising lesbian scenes in a TV show, acting like it's great. Then they're trying to cancel other right-wingers like John Delarose. They're trying to cancel, Christian content makers. They're just all full of shit. This guy, I would definitely recommend you check out this guy. And again, I don't agree with everything he says, but seems like the vast majority of his videos are right on. And I'm glad that he, sticks to his, conservative and Christian views and doesn't deviate from it, no matter what is popular or no matter what people say and whatnot. Let me see if we should finish watching his video here.
Okay, guys, I've just received my refurbished phone from Back Market. My phone was 70%.
I meant to click on his video, but I clicked on something else instead. And you know what? Fuck it. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Calling out Geeks and Gamers, showing how fucking fake they are and how people shouldn't take them seriously at all. This whole outrage over Devin Pritchard is stupid. It's dumb as hell, okay? Again, it's fine to be vigilant. It's fine to be like, yeah, I don't like the way she said, I don't like that, what she's saying there. It almost sounds like she wants to, promote DEI politics, identity politics, whatever. That's fine being vigilant. But when you're fucking running with it, like that's actually what she said, and that's actually what's going on, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. You're grifting at that point. and you're trying to get attention, and you're just, you're falling for all of this stupidity. There, again, it doesn't matter if Devin Pritchard actually is woke, because she has no influence over what happens with Nintendo. She takes orders from Nintendo of Japan. End of story. She doesn't get to say what happens. She doesn't get to say what happens with the video games or anything like that. She doesn't have a say in any of that stuff. That's all from Nintendo of Japan, and we know Nintendo of Japan is extremely conservative. They have always been very conservative with their video games, and they always will be. Unlike PlayStation, unlike Xbox, especially PlayStation. I think it's safe to say that they are the most woke out of all video game manufacturers and, publishers. I think PlayStation is definitely by far the most woke out there. I mean, how many fucking video games have they had already with fucking lesbian characters and shit? So yeah, I'm going to be interested in hear what you guys have to say about this, and until then, I'll talk to you guys later.